Joe presents Liquid Football, sponsored by Paddy Power.
Hello, welcome to Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power. It's the show that puts you in the dressing room and in the boots of the players. With me this week, Sean Wright-Phillips, Luis Garcia and Wes Brown. And we're going to start, of course, with the Manchester City's 3-0 win against Arsenal, because we can talk about Manchester City and the fact that they're back at their best. But that performance from Arsenal, they just haven't had the lift they hoped they would get under Freddie Ljungberg. And you can see how deeply the problems are for them.
I watched the game yesterday, obviously, but they're not good without the ball. Like, they started the game pretty decent, to be honest. The wingers were going at people, Martinelli, and obviously they were taking people on, and Pepe, and they had a few cross, but then obviously De Bruyne scores in like 90 seconds and then it just unfolded for them, basically.
How would you sum up Arsenal's performance?
Not the best, bro. Let's say it that way. I think what everybody was expecting, that Ljungberg arrive and change everything, but it's very difficult. Why? Because at the end, the players, they know that probably he's not the one who's going to stay. So they're waiting for a big change. They are waiting for who is going to replace Unai Emery. That's going to change something. Because Ljungberg didn't have the chance to change anything or bring players. So he's just trying to hold on there, try to get any result that can at least clean a bit the situation. But that will last for maybe 2-3 games. Now it's back again to the same feelings, and until something big doesn't change, but they will stay the same way.
But especially when you look at your time at Manchester United and you have the continuity there. You had Alex Ferguson, David Gill above him. It was a whole generation that they were there running the club for. So to look at Arsenal and to find them in this constant period of change, it must be really unsettling.
It will be. I mean, it has to come from the board first, I think, because they're the ones who are going to ultimately pick the manager. I think the quicker they do that, the better. Like Louis was saying, is Ljungberg the right person? Maybe the players don't think he is, but even so, when the manager gets sacked, you always see a fight in a team. You know what I mean? You probably get together and go, come on. A lot of these players are fighting for their jobs. You know, a new manager comes in, he might completely change it up. But they just can't. There's no leaders as well.
And Wes, I'm not saying that he's not the right manager. It's just what you just said, that the board didn't say, listen, you're going to stay. The boss is going to stay here until the last of the season or in the 1 year and a half season here. But you have to give him the credit. If not, it's something that is uncertain. No one knows if he's going to stay. If he's not stay, if they're going to play 3-4-3 this season, this game, or 4-4-2 next game. So that uncertainty, I think, is not very good for the team. In the moment they're on a game, something goes on a bad way, then the team goes down. They goes down, and I don't know. It doesn't work for them just to be this way.
They've got nothing to draw upon. No. Probably more similar to Sunderland then, when there's that instability at the club.
When you go through a phase, especially when it's not going right, I mean, I've had 7 managers at Sunderland in 5 years, maybe 8.
Was it 7?
Maybe 8.
Was it maybe 8? Maybe 8.
Maybe 8. And there's no buzz. So after the 3rd one, you know, a new manager comes in. Yeah, you get some results. And to be fair, while I was there, we stayed up. But it wasn't a nice feeling, you know, from top to bottom, from the board, from the owner. Then you speak to a lot of the managers, because we was a lot older, senior pros. So we would get more involved with the manager, and he'd tell us stuff. And then you'd find out that, you know, the manager, I might be leaving myself because I've been promised this and that. And it just doesn't work. You know, you can see the manager's not happy. So if the manager's not happy, that sort of comes down to the players. You know what I mean? You're not sure. The manager's probably not giving 100%. And it can just go on.
What effect does that have then on the players in a game? Because, you know, a lot of the times you hear players talking, they say, as soon as I cross the line, that's it, I'm out, everything's clear.
You are until someone scores a goal against you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then that's it. It could be 4, 5, 6. Until that, because first of all, you're down there for a reason. You can't score many goals. So when someone scores, we could be playing well, really well. We just can't quite score. We might be playing better than them. Then nick it, little mistake, score. That's pretty much how the game will go when you're sort of in that position, and the players, your frame of mind's not right, and it's harder to say to the lads, "Come on, we've still got this."
Yeah.
Because it's just
you can do it one. You can do it one time.
You could look at a player and not even know.
Yeah.
And like, look at him, and his head's down, and the next player's head's down. And
I wants to look at
so
you.
ultimately, no one said anything, but he's just gone from there to like, God, that's it now. And you start maybe thinking stuff in your mind which doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. Certainly, as things stand at the moment, but they are looking to make a change. And I've noticed that the photographers who normally chase Raheem Sterling around Greggs have now fixed their attention on Mikel Arteta. They've spotted Arsenal executive Venkatesan was coming out of his house in the early hours of the morning. Does that feel? What does it feel like the right move? Does it feel like the right direction? If you've got a club where it doesn't feel like they're decisive at board level, that you bring in a manager or even an inexperienced coach and a new manager.
I think for me personally, I think it's a hard job for him. Like to go in there, like the guy said, it's got to start from up there. And if the structure's not right up there, then it's ultimately going to be hard to do what he wants to do and put his self in the game. But he needs time at the end of the day. They can't just give him a month or a year. He needs like 3 years to start building something so people can actually see the results of what he's been doing.
And he's going to need the building to go on above him as well, because it's not the case anymore that managers go in and say, right, here's my wish list and I want, 7 of those 10 players. It doesn't work like that. There's got to be a template and a structure in place first.
Yeah, definitely. I've like you said, he will go in with a plan. I don't think if he gets the job, he's going to just go in and be the manager. He's going to request certain things, and I think they most probably would have promised him certain things. So fingers crossed it all works out for him, and hopefully Arsenal get back to the Arsenal everybody knows.
But to leave Manchester City at this point to go to Arsenal, I mean, it's
Me personally, I wouldn't leave. But I don't know,
It's been for a while, huh? The sound of
he-
Arteta leaving for a different.
He wants to be a man. He wants to do it himself. So I feel like if that's what his wish is, it's not a bad place to start for your
He's
first
been there
job at
as a
Arsenal.
player, hasn't he?
He knows the club.
knows
He knows everything.
Yeah, he knows the club. He had next to him one of the best coaches,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that he's just waiting for the right time to make a move. But he will come now or in 6 months or in a year. But it's really probably is not the best move at the moment.
Yeah.
Even though that some
Would you turn it down or?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Like,
hard
it's
to
very
turn
difficult.
down.
It's
It
very
is
You
hard
can
to
sort
turn
of see he
down.
wants to become a manager.
totally understand. Yeah.
So it'd be a tough one for him to turn down because Arsenal's
A massive club, yeah.
and if he can get it right, then he.
Then
You know
it's
what I mean?
there.
Chances you take, I suppose.
And they
as a
don't
manager.
really sack managers either, do they? If they're doing well, they just keep them.
Yeah, keep it there. Yeah.
and then give them the opportunity, like you say, to try and develop something. Is that something then that you almost have to believe, you have to convince yourself that you can get past any of the problems that are there? Whereas if you're not asked to take that job, you can look from the outside and you can say, God, that looks like it's a bit of a mess. It looks like a huge job. It looks really difficult. But if that's what you want to do, you have to believe that you can overcome all of that.
I'm sure every
I think he does. I mean,
yeah.
the managers he's learned off. They'll all have their certain way of setting up clubs, and he'll know what he'll understand all that. He's been doing this for many years now.
No, what manager is gonna think? You know what? I'm not going there because it's a mess. No,
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
gonna say,
no, that's what I
I'm
mean.
gonna
Yeah,
go
I'm
there and I'm gonna do the way that I want it, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be successful.
My
Yes.
idea.
No, yes, exactly.
And if
After
the board,
we'll see what happens.
If the board believe him and are into it, then I'm sure he'll be one of the favourites.
Yeah.
Just looking at the way that the players are carrying themselves as well. Mesut Ozil's been criticised pretty much on and off since he's been at the club. There have been some high points, but he's always a player that fans will start to grumble at. And it was this time, it's the way that he walked off and the fact that he didn't look as, I don't know, what do you think they wanted from
He
him?
wasn't happy for a start. He's come off. They lost 3-0. Obviously didn't get a lot of the ball in the game, which is his strong point, playing with the ball at his feet, which didn't exist for Arsenal yesterday. But he's a luxury player, and Arsenal, I feel like, are not in that luxury position and don't have the defence behind him anyway. So he's doing more defending than attacking. So he's most probably just emotionally drained and frustrated.
Yeah.
So what then do you do? Because if he's not playing well, it's going to be harder to sell him. If he's on the wages that he's reported to be on, it's harder to sell him or even to send him out on loan unless you maybe subsidise them. But then do you play him? Because if he's a luxury that they can't afford, can they afford to have all the money invested in him and then not put him on the pitch?
I feel like when he plays, Arsenal create more chances. The problem they have, I feel like, is when they're losing, then he's not that effective because that's stretched too far as it is. Like one of the goals yesterday, the cutback, I was like, where is the midfield? Like Kevin De Bruyne's first goal, all the back line are in the position they're meant to be, and then there's just no one else. So it's like nobody runs back. So as much as they're saying like Ozil, what happened to Guzzi and Torreira? Where were they? Like they're meant to be the defending midfielders, and they weren't pretty much in the picture for none of the goals.
He does seem to be a sort of lightning rod.
Yeah,
for all their frustration.
Target. It's an easy target. Since he arrived to Arsenal, he came like with not with the half of the crowd supporting him, and they are just waiting for him to have a bad game and point him because he's the easy one. But it's true that the team hasn't been playing well, so at the end, they have to point someone, and normally it's Ozil because of the wages or because he doesn't get too much ball on him. But at the end, I'm totally with him. I think that the Ozil is one of those players you want him on the pitch because he's something who can create something from nowhere. And on these days, it's not easy to find these kind of players.
And so if he doesn't create something from nowhere, then that's when the criticism starts to build.
Yeah.
Is it easier to be a defender in that situation then?
100%. Do you know what about Ozil? I mean, he gets all the criticism, but he is a luxury player, like Sean said. And he's not like a captain type of player. And that's what people expect him to be because he's been at the club now for many years. He, on paper, should be, if not their most influent player, they're the best player. And he's just not performing. But, I mean, if someone comes in and you can get him on his side and you can get on his side, you know, confidence is a massive thing. You can see that's not happening at the moment. He's probably used to good solid defenders defending, everyone else doing their job and then him doing his job, but it's not working out like that, and he's not quite cutting it when, you know, he's going into the rough. He's
you
struggling
understand
a bit.
his thinking here, Mesut Ozil, in that he's at Arsenal, he has been there for a long time. It feels as though he does get a lot of criticism, some of it justified, some of it just is sort of criticising him for something that he just can't be. But why not move? Does he look too comfortable at Arsenal? I mean, do you understand the?
They've given him a contract, and that's it, really. I'm guessing he knows.
Can you understand that? Does that make sense to you?
Well, where does he go from there, though? Maybe he wants to still be in the top flight. What team right now in the top categories for him would take him at this minute? So he's better off stay there, and hopefully his performances change. He gets back to the Ozil everybody knows, and then maybe he might be able to nick another move and get away.
And not only Ozil performance, because we are focusing on one player, and it's the whole team that he wants to playing well.
Exactly.
So maybe he's expecting, okay, there is a change now, there is another manager arriving, and we can improve, or maybe the team can improve, and then the best of me is going to come
back.
Yeah, but it's not easy, of course.
Are the Paddy Power odds for Mesut Ozil's next club? Fenerbahce at 7-2, AC Milan at 6-1, and DC United at 7-1. You know MLS.
Yeah.
Is he the kind of player who's suited to playing in that league?
They run more there than here. They just run.
A lot,
it's not like it's weird. It's not really. I wouldn't say it's not tactical, but to the
It's
thinking
energetic.
speed here, it's more just athletes. It's just end to end. Nobody really passes slowly or breaks down. It's just attack. So us just saying that Ozil's more of a luxury player, he would be fine there because he'll be the DP, so he pretty much can do what he wants.
Yeah.
They're gonna play him anyway because it's Ozil.
Yeah, it's just interesting that the three clubs that I mentioned there are so different. Like Fenerbahce is going to be one type of challenge. Then AC Milan, yes, you get the name and you get the stature of the club, and then you get something that's a bit more.
Yeah, but you arrive to a team that is also
DC
again
United.
building back their own history again. So it's not to go to a place where you know that you're gonna stand out again. It's difficult. AC Milan now, at the moment they are having.
So if you're Mesut Ozil, and I come to you and I say, Mesut, get same wages everywhere. The personal benefits to you are going to be the same. Do you go to Fenerbahce, AC Milan, or DC United?
DC's short, isn't it? It's not as long season.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't say that. But.
I don't know.
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think he'll go.
This is
I
not
don't
asking.
think he'll go.
This is
That's
not.
not
Do you think? Yeah. So is that the option you think he'll take? Is even with these choices if these are valid choices for him? You think
No,
he
I
just
don't
doesn't
think
want to
he
leave
will.
Arsenal?
No, of course.
Yeah, I think he likes Arsenal, but if he did leave, I think he would go to AC Milan. I feel like DC, he can go another 2 years down the line. They're still going to want him. If he's doing half decent or well, he can still go to America. So I think that would be like last on the list for me.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he'd go America. DC or Fenerbahce. Maybe Fenerbahce.
I think he's going to stay. Someone is going to write
long
to
has he
us and
got
I'm going to
left?
say, listen, mate, help me on this because we're going to build something, and he's going to stay. Definitely.
All right. Everton held Manchester United to a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford. A lot of the discussion afterwards was about Moise Kean because it came on as a sub after 70 minutes and then 18 minutes later, off he came, taken off by Duncan Ferguson. Let's say visibly disappointed, and he walked straight down the tunnel, didn't shake hands with Duncan Ferguson, but we're only a couple of games into the Duncan Ferguson routine. We know he's not somebody who is going to pander to players necessarily. Do you have any sympathy with Moise Kean in
I
this
do.
situation?
I do. I mean, I was there, and I don't think it happened like that. But I'm not in Duncan.
So what did you
Ferguson's
see
head.
then?
So he came on, and at the time United were getting back in the game, so everyone was defending halfway line, and obviously to their goal. And then he's come on, and about 3 times he's sort of pushed up a little bit and sort of defended a bit higher on his own. Because every time they lost the ball, every Everton player turned around and sort of 3/4 pace back to the halfway and get in position. Because United struggled getting past how they were playing, how they were lined up. But 3 times he did it a bit too high. And I'm thinking it's because of that, not because he was wasting time.
Yeah, well, that's...
Because I was watching it thinking, why is he up there on his own? Because the lads, obviously, 1-2, you're out. And then obviously everyone's past him then, because he's then going, oh, where is everyone?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get exactly.
Why wouldn't the players call him? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a player,
to be
and
fair,
he's
Duncan
gone,
Ferguson
back on-
was. You could see him, he was
but
visibly
I mean,
going, oh.
for the players,
And he
should
must have-
help him out. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was
100%.
doing that, you
when he
lot would
gets
shout
back
to
in,
me. Yeah.
just say, stay there.
Yeah, that's
You're
what
the
I'm
first
saying.
one from the halfway.
There you go.
Don't do it up there.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing because he wasn't getting through to him what he wanted to do.
Okay, but let's get out of that. He wasn't doing the right thing of the manager that told him to get back or get compact with the team. He's one of the younger lads.
Yeah.
Came on in 18 minutes just before of the change, comes out, and you're as a manager. I mean, my view will be to go there and say, listen, mate, I'm doing this because whatever.
100%.
Because I don't want you because I want to lose time. That I think is what he said, or because you weren't doing what I wanted, and I made the change. But give the back to the player. I don't know. You just mentioned that he's not that kind of manager, but still,
No, we don't really know.
it was
what
Yeah,
very
we don't
hard.
know exactly.
It was very hard.
But
If you come off, if you know Dunk from playing Dunk,
Yeah.
you'll know he's
Yeah.
not
But
going
we've all
to
seen,
pamper.
Yeah.
we've all seen what happened.
But
So when
it's-
he's come off,
Yeah.
you can see he was thinking what's going on. And then
It's something-
did a little jog. He's a young player, so he's jogs off.
Because, for example,
He has to jog because that is such a long way down that
So
tunnel.
he's give high five,
Oh,
and then nothing got said to him. And I completely agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone, or even one of
manage
the
something.
anyone, get up with him and walk down with him. Then don't make a scene.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's supposed to go back and sit down.
we don't know the inside because I remember that Luis Enrique said once that when he was a manager, when he had the first meeting, he said, listen, and when I change someone, I'm not going to go to give it a hand. It's because he didn't want it to be on the spot on saying that he's angry and he's going to miss to give me the hand and everybody's going to talk. Straight away he said, I'm not going to go. I will make the change. I won't go to give you a hand or whatever. Just that you know, it's not because of any particular case.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to do it. I don't know if we will be that like that. But 19 years old, been on the pitch 15 minutes, just go there and say, because for the rest of the people that they don't know anything, you're going to make a comment. Everybody is going to make a comment why you didn't do that. So I think it's not a good way of a player you're going to need in the future.
But because at Old Trafford, you have to come off the pitch and you have to walk down half in front of the Manchester United fans, walk down half the length of the stand to go into the tunnel at the end.
Yeah.
That's a long walk when you're cross.
Yeah, well, and he wasn't playing bad because United were on top now. They had a lot of the ball. They were just trying to get that winner. So it wasn't like it was definitely. I'm telling you, it was definitely because he was a little bit higher than everyone, and I don't think the manager wanted him there as high. And maybe he just thought he wasn't getting across to him. So I'm just going to change him. Whether that's right or wrong, he's the manager. He can do that.
Yeah.
But afterwards, as a young lad, like you've just said, you might have heard. Hopefully, he had a word inside. Hopefully, you don't know.
Got to speak to him.
Yeah, you would expect that the manager would talk to him. Would senior players talk to him in that situation?
And like I said when we was having like the little chat before, that situation can happen to anybody, but the characteristics, he shouldn't have just walked off no matter how upset he is. And I felt like back in the day, like senior players wouldn't allow that to happen because you're showing a little, I wouldn't say disrespect, but a selfish mentality of it's all about me. I'm mad, so I don't care basically what happens now.
Yeah, and it looks like it's it looks like it's a situation that has to be fixed anyway. We don't know quite how they're going to fix. Does it? I mean, Duncan Ferguson has experience as a coach at different levels, but first time as a Premier League manager, this is going to be a test of his management skills, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if he thinks he's got it wrong, he would have already had the chat with him as well. You know what I mean? It was a big occasion for them. They were drawing, trying to keep that draw at the time. And he might not even thought about it at the time. I know he knows he's bringing him off, but then he's probably thinking, right, let me get back on it. And
he's so into the game.
Not even thinking about it, and maybe he did afterwards.
Yeah, but in the situation that the club is at the moment, you have to be very careful with all these details because small bits are the ones who are going to break the dressing room, and you want to keep them all together. And one of those players comes out and goes, and then people's going to talk about, they don't talk each other. So at the end, you don't want this. At this moment, it's about football. That's it.
Yeah.
Brilliant day, though, for Mason Greenwood. Another brilliant day for Mason Greenwood. They seem to be easing him in more gently than some of the other young players. Is that partly because there is such an expectation around him? Is it about protecting him, do you think?
100% I think it is. I mean, I've watched him for many years now, and he does the same thing on every level that I've seen. And I think Ollie and the staff and everyone there know what sort of a talent they've got. There was times where Ollie probably could have threw him in a few more when we had a few injuries. Martial was out, and he maybe could have started him a few more times, but he's not. He's just taken his time, and when he's come on, he's been fantastic. Play going up to him, the way he gets his shots off, these little angles he gets to get his shots off, and finds both corners, both feet, and watching it yesterday, and obviously with the crowd, and everyone's loving it. And just the way he didn't celebrate, he just run back. He's used to scoring. It's not a big thing. Go and get the ball. Let's go again. Good mentality. Looks focused. So hopefully he's, if not the end of this season, next season, he comes on even better.
It's the Zlatan quote, isn't it? Does a postman celebrate when he posts a letter? I'm a goal scorer. I don't celebrate when I score goals. Yeah. But that mentality, that's just telling about him. As much because there's lots of talented players around. It's just whether or not you've got the mental attributes to be able to do it. Is that the difference?
I'd say I think that makes the great players. Yeah, for definitely. Like I always talk about Ronaldo, as you know. Like Rio used to say to me that even on his days off, he would be in working on stuff where everybody else would be chilling, and now he's possibly up there, the best players to ever play the game. Would you say? Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? And that's just from hard work and him being focused on saying, I'm going to be better and better and better, and just keep doing it.
Yeah, there's a bright future ahead for Mason Greenwood if he wants it, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And I like the way he's taking it. I like the way when he gets his little opportunities. I mean, a lot of him, 20, 30 minutes as sub, and he's getting goals when we need it as well, which is getting us back into games. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him, and then Ollie will start bringing him in slowly. But fantastic talent, and like I said, you can see that, and he's doing it on the big stage now.
Time now for the Paddy Power Challenge. Steve Sidwell won the challenge last week, but he lost out on the bet because he had both Everton and Manchester United to score in the first half of their game, so he doesn't get the extra £250 bet. This week's Paddy Power Challenge is something of a let's call it a name game. We're going to get one letter, and you have to name as many players as you can who've played in the Premier League whose surnames start with that letter.
Surname,
yes. Okay. Or if they only have like one name, it can be that as well.
Okay.
Sean, you going to start? I need to tell you. Listen, no, it gets better. Look.
What is it?
When you go past 5 seconds, if you hesitate, I have a gong. Right, okay, Sean, you're up first, and the first letter is...
Oh, come on.
What's the
3,
chances?
2,
Bad letter.
1, go.
Shaka.
Granit Xhaka, go on. 3, 2,
Abel Xavier.
oh, just 3.
Disco.
How
do you know that
Sean?
I can't think of it anymore.
No, I can't.
1, 2, 3.
Just dong it.
Can we start on X?
And the reason you
that
can't
one,
think of
eh?
anyone, there are only 3 players who played in the Premier League with the surname X. There are only 3 of them. Right,
How we do
Luis,
well.
you're up next, and your letter to start with is M.
M.
3, 2, 1, go.
Morientes, Fernando Morientes.
Mane.
James Milner.
Mascherano. Javier Mascherano.
I hope I get this right. Lucas Moore.
Yes, Lucas Moura. There you go.
I thought yours, right?
Kenny Miller, did he play?
Oh, yeah. Wolves. Yeah.
Mullins. What's him?
Yes.
Aidan Mullins. Oh, God. Finished there.
3, 2,
Gone.
1.
Have a tea.
Enjoy your tea.
3, 2,
Yeah, I'm gone.
1.
It's got to be loads.
I'm the winner there.
By default. Wes, your turn to go first, and your letter is A.
Okay.
So, as many players as we
18.
can who've played in the Premier League whose surname starts with A. 3, 2, 1, go.
Sergio Aguero.
Dele Alli.
Alexander Arnold.
Yep.
That's double point.
Abraham.
Tammy Abraham.
Adebayor.
Yes.
Arnautovic.
Yes, Marko Arnautovic.
Aspilicueta.
Nicolas Anelka.
Yes.
Aubameyang.
No. It's gone. Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
That was good,
Have it.
though. Sean, any more in your locker?
Wait.
3, 2,
Yeah, I'm done with it.
1. This is so loud. Right.
Sam
Luis,
Allardyce.
These new managers, yeah?
you could have had Darren Anderson.
Anderton.
Darren
Yes,
Anderson. Mikel Arteta.
Oh my God.
There's nobody better.
He's
That's the song, isn't it? Mikel Arteta. So, Sean, back to you to go first. And your letter is... It's like Sesame Street, isn't it? S.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alan Shearer.
Yes.
Mo Salah.
Yes.
Peter Schmeichel.
Correct.
Chris Sutton.
Luis, 3,
Certain.
2... Oh, you... Where's...
Louis Saha.
Yes.
Oh, sir.
Sane.
Just saying that.
3,
Just saying that.
2,
No, I'm gone.
1.
It's when someone has your
Sean gets the
answer,
winner.
then you can't come up with anything.
Did you not? Did
Raheem
nobody
Sterling.
mention Sterling?
No.
I thought once you said Sane, I
that's
thought
what-
someone
that's why
would
I
come
did
up
it,
with
'cause I thought it was-
'Cause I had
thought someone would
Sterling.
come up with Sterling. So who got points then? You got 1 point.
I got 1 point.
You got 1 point.
I haven't been keeping count.
And then you got 2 points.
2 points already?
You got
because
2
the first
points.
one.
Because
Yeah,
you got the first one.
first
So you're the winner.
I'm the winner. Come on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've got your £250 from Paddy Power.
Yes.
So what are you going to put your £250 bet on?
I'm going to go on Manchester City against Leicester for 1 for a draw.
Okay, 1-1 draw between those two. And
Yes.
if you get winnings, where will they go?
Fundela Foundation. There is a foundation in Madrid for strange disease.
Perfect.
Thank you.
This is Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power. I'm Kelly Cates. Alongside me, Sean Wright-Phillips, Luis Garcia and Wes Brown. If you like what you see and hear, then please do leave us a nice review on YouTube or iTunes. or both. On this week's TKO, Chris Lloyd and Carl Frampton's guest was Angel Fernandez, the secret weapon in Anthony Joshua's camp, on how he drew up the game plan to beat Andy Ruiz and win back his world title.
How to engage with this guy. We knew he's very fast with his hands, but one thing that Ruiz hasn't got is footwork. He's very flat.
Yeah.
And if you look all the training he does, all the pads that he does with his coach Manny Robles, which I rate very highly, is going towards the ropes all the time. So we knew that if Joshua was going to go in straight lines,
You're gonna follow
that
you.
was going to be a danger.
Yep.
So what we made with Josh, he was like always coming off on a diagonal, off on an angle, doing lots of laterals, semicircles, and the whole sparring, the whole training, like the pads, the technical training, everything was with those key points.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. Again, it was down to him.
TKO with Carl Frampton is available to watch on YouTube or to download from your usual podcast provider. Don't forget, check out House of Rugby, which features the return of James Haskell from the jungle and revealing lots about his time on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I don't know if he's speaking out of turn there, Sean. We'll keep an eye on him. Now, the draw for the Champions League round of 16 has been made today. Liverpool will play Atletico Madrid. Manchester City take on Real Madrid. Chelsea face Bayern Munich and Tottenham take on Red Bull Leipzig. Luis, thoughts on the draw? Your two former clubs up against each other.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Or two of your former clubs, not the only two.
Can't wait. I think it's a fantastic draw. Two teams in different situation, because Liverpool is on the momentum of the season, and Atletico is struggling a little bit, but just grab a small. So in February, I'm looking for amazing two games.
What are the problems with Atletico at the moment? What are the issues?
They're not scoring goals. At the end, Griezmann left the club. Diego Costa has been injured for quite a while, and only Morata is the one up front who has been scoring, because Joao Felix said he was the young kid arriving to Liverpool, so to Atletico with a massive move of money for Atletico, and he's not a goal scorer, and they are struggling because of that. He's creating every time he's got the ball is fantastic, but they are not scoring goals.
How do you think it's going to go in February?
It's a lot of
We'll ask you again near the time.
No,
We'll ask you again
to be
near the
honest,
time.
I think Liverpool at the moment is a lot stronger than Atletico. It's going to be a fantastic job, because Simeone knows how to put on the DH all the teams, and I know it's going to go, but I'm still confident that Liverpool is going to go through.
And of course, it's familiar territory for them.
Yeah,
they know the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. I was there in Atletico when they play against Liverpool, so I had the chance of playing for the two games, and it was beautiful. And even though they go like a rivalry, it's very nice to see them. The two crowds got together and they start singing songs one to each other, clapping each other. So it's going to be an amazing atmosphere, both of them.
Manchester City against Real Madrid as well. That's going to be box office.
It's going to
I'm
be
waiting for that one
good.
too.
Some good ones.
It's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good draws, and that one will be a good one as well. But hopefully we get a bit of luck this time in the Champions League and get the victory.
Yeah, there's some really. I mean, when you look at the games and you look at the draws, they're games you would choose to watch as well. You know, I know you get a lot of that at this stage, but especially with Bayern Munich and the way that they dismantled Tottenham, the fact they're going to be playing against Chelsea, Leipzig, and the whole sort of Red Bull style of play is just so exciting to watch. And that coming up against Tottenham feels like it could be like those Tottenham Ajax semi-finals last season in that sort of style.
Oh, there's been a few very good games. They got another Napoli, Barcelona, and Borussia. I think Borussia is Juve. I think it is
PSG.
Oh, PSG. Sorry, PSG. So I mean,
you're genuinely really excited. Aren't you?
I like, because you miss this kind of games, special nights.
As a player,
because normally you see them in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and now you see 4 or 5 games that they are very attractive to watch.
Maybe because we saw more unexpected semi-finalists last time around, that now you look at it and the draw of the last 16, there's more teams. It's not just your sort of usual 4 that are the big box office ones. Are you looking forward to them?
I am, all of them, especially the English teams. I think we'll do very well. There's some tough games. Maybe the Chelsea one might be a hard one, just for the fact that the team's young and they're playing a very experienced team. But in general, I think Liverpool will do well. The City game, I will be watching as well. I could go either way. I mean, if City are on form, I could see them blowing Real Madrid out of the water. But if they're not, you know,
It's one of those games. No scoreline would be a surprise on that.
yeah. So it's good. I'm looking forward to it.
It is going to be very exciting. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Club World Cup as well, because we've been sort of talking about Liverpool's busy December and factoring that into it for a little while now. But it's actually upon us. They've got the game against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, which the sort of younger players will take part in. The senior squad are over in Qatar. They've got the semi-final against Monterrey on Wednesday. So you've been out to the Club World Cup,
Yes.
haven't you? And you went out to the Club World Cup. Well, you didn't go out. You were injured when Manchester United had the Club World Cup. I just wonder about the rhythm of the season and whether these kind of competitions are important to maintaining that or potentially disrupting it. What did you find?
I think it can go either ways, to be honest, because it depends how you focus these kind of games. But for us back then, it was one more trophy that you can win, and it's actually a very good trophy. Now that I retired, I don't have it on my stand. It was you look back and you say, "Oh my God, yeah, we should have won that one." And the way it was a game that we scored 3 goals where disallowed. We dominated the game, but Rogerio was the keeper, did it so well. But to be honest, it was like a break. I remember going on the plane. They gave us some pills to go to sleep. So it changed a little bit, but you try to keep the same way that you live in England, so it doesn't change you a lot. So I think it's a very good experience. Go there, try to get another trophy, and get back and continue, because you can totally disconnect one thing, but you continue playing, you continue competing, and it's important to live well. You can see that for the Carabao Cup, there's not many players are going to stay, and the most of the whole squad is going to Qatar. So hopefully they can get the trophy, get back and continue. But there is no injury, there is no any problem, because Qatar is hot, it's humid, so it's different way of playing. So hopefully there is no injuries and they can get back to what they were.
Now, the Liverpool team that you were part of won in the semi-final and then lost in the final of the Club World Cup. The Manchester United squad that went out there, they stormed in the Premier League right through to the end of the season. It seemed as though, rather than disrupting their rhythm, which I was sort of trying to ask about a bit, but it seemed to have completely the opposite effect on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can go either way. I mean, if you have a bad trip, you don't win, everyone's a bit down, you come back, what's the point in that? Then you get back into it, something else goes wrong in the Premier League, and then all of a sudden you're on a bad little run. The lads at the time, I mean, fantastic squad that we had. Took it by stride, dealt with it, and you can get on with it. But it is 50-50. I mean, if we were to pick up 2 injuries there, could change the rest of your Premier League season. Yeah. And I think that's what's the more concerning thing, rather than you've got to fly to Qatar and play then and fly back. I think, like Louis said, that you can sort of handle that. It's whether you can keep everyone on the pitch and fit.
I know you say it's a regret now that you don't have that medal. Did you take it seriously at the time?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not take it seriously, but like, was it?
We didn't go on holiday.
I don't mean it like that, but I mean in terms of the prestige of the competition, like how highly did you rate it?
Maybe when you are playing, you don't go there and you don't look at like FA Cup or like Premier League or Champions League. But it's true that when we were there, we tried, and when we finished, and we regret it, because actually we tried everything during the game, and well, you finish, you go back and you keep going with your things. But that's why I was thinking now that there is something that I've been thinking after when I retired, checking on my games back and the things that you didn't. You got the silver medal and it's not the gold one, so it feels like, oh, we should have won this one, but it's a small regret that you got there.
So that's next for Liverpool, Carabao Cup and the Club World Cup next for Liverpool. Champions League gets back underway in February. The latest Paddy Power odds to win the Champions League: Manchester City 10-3, Liverpool 4-1, Barcelona 5-1, Bayern 7-1, PSG 15-2. Is that because that's now where the focus is for Manchester City, do you think?
I don't know. Knowing Pep and what I've seen of him over the year, I don't think he's just solely focused on the Champions League. I think he just concentrates on just game by game. I feel like the game on Saturday, the next game coming up, he's going to want to win that. And every game so on. And I think that's his focus. But everybody keeps saying that at the minute, they would rather just win the Champions League. Me, if I was a manager, I would just do exactly the same thing Man City are doing, because I feel like if he just keeps winning all the games and the competitions he comes, it kind of sets him up for the rest of the tournaments, because he's just winning. So then the team get like a rhythm. And I think he's trying to find that rhythm towards the back end of the season, because he's going to need it. Because if Liverpool do drop points, then they're in a position to take advantage of their mistakes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a game-by-game thing.
Oh, next couple of weeks are massive, aren't
Yeah.
they? Manchester City against Leicester, then Liverpool
Yeah,
against
that's what I
Leicester on
mean.
Boxing Day. I mean, by the time we get to like the 27th, everything could be a lot more open
yeah.
than it is now. Wolves, Adama Traore scored as they lost 2-1 to Tottenham. He's made 26 appearances for Wolves in all competitions. 24 different players have been booked for fouling him, and 3 Spurs players got yellows for fouling him yesterday. Sean, when we put this on the WhatsApp group earlier, I think it was Steve Sidwell was saying, you're the best person to ask about this. He said, you just got knocked down every game and then back up again, knocked down, back up again.
Yeah,
How hard is that to do, though?
you know what? Sometimes it actually depending on who kicked you, because like I've known Wes for a long time. So if him or Coley or someone I knew kicked me, I kind of just laugh it off. But then sometimes it would get frustrating, because you're like, man, I could have set somebody up, or I might have had a go, and all they're going to get is a yellow card, and then we might lose the game. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is what happened. They ended up losing the game, and some of the times he got actually hacked, Wolves may have scored from it. But I expect it. You got to do what you got to do to win the game, and if it's there to take it, I would kick him.
Yeah.
I would pick him up, by the way.
Or knock him down and then help him. Yeah.
All right, let's go on with it. Come on. 20 minutes left.
I'm coming later.
But, yeah.
But listen, I mean, you know, to be in that situation, Luis, where you're trying to create things, and you are a target for people who just, and I don't mean in necessarily in a dangerous way, or
No,
I mean,
no.
'cause I know Nuno said that he's got to be protected because this could lead to injury, but it feels like a lot of them are more tactical
Stop.
rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
dangerous
Stop it.
challenges.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. You just said it. They knew how difficult to stop Adama is, and how dangerous he is when he's on the run,
Yeah.
and he's very strong. So you know that is the main player at the moment who's doing well. So for him, and he has to be just pull him or stop him or just go in front of him. It doesn't have to be a bad tackle.
Yeah.
It's not about that. That's why there are 30 different players booked, because it's not about going and tackling him and try to get him injured. No, he's trying to stop him and frustrate him. They know that he's a player who can go up and down on a game, and if he disappears, it's going to be good for them. So I'm sure that behind all that, there is someone telling the player, listen, go and stop him. Don't let him start getting the ball or turn, because in the moment they face you, it's going to be difficult to stop.
And the fact that it's so many different players suggests that this is something that teams are setting out to do. This is
the
a plan.
manager will be saying, don't let him
Yeah.
turn, and if he does, everyone get across and stop him.
And take it in turns as well, so
Yeah, I
you
mean,
don't get yourself
I'm not
into
saying
trouble.
take him out,
No.
but if he gets past you, because he's so powerful, when he gets on his run,
Yeah.
he can get past anyone. There's a lot, it's hard.
But you have to take it in turns, though, with a player like that,
sounds
just
like
to
a yellow,
to make sure that nobody picks up a red
What?
card in that. You don't want to get 2 bookings.
I mean, there was times, and it's a bit different, but there was times when me and Gaz would swap on goal kicks, for instance, because one of us already got a yellow,
Yeah.
and we're playing against whoever. So Gaz will have a go, he'll have a yellow. So I go, let me have a go now, Gaz.
Yeah.
In case I foul him. You know what I mean? Because maybe Gaz got I don't know, he might have elbowed by accident, and he's got a yellow off the ref, and he's saying, like, we just swap just for goal kicks and stuff. But I'm pretty sure people have swapped from left back to right back as well, just for the fact that even if you're playing against righty or someone on right wing,
Yeah, definitely.
they'd swap over because they've got a yellow. He's gone past
Yeah.
them. There's a yellow early doors. Gaffer don't really want to make a change yet. Right, swap over.
No, and people on him at the end. I got a yellow, but the manager, the boss just said, "Listen, in the moment he turns so much,
You've got
you have to have
stop him,
two
yeah.
guys."
Yeah.
and I got yellow, I'm going to try to go, but I'm not going to go on him. But the next one is going to go and going to stop him. I think that's...
Get
He's
round
also
him.
got to take it as a compliment.
It is.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
got
of
to take
course.
it as a compliment, like that people.
After-
I wouldn't
after
say
the game.
targeting
Yeah.
him,
After
but
the
Once he's retired.
yeah, they're speaking about him. He's one to worry about. So it's just got.
It's like an award.
Smile
huh?
about it.
I remember one game that I booked 3 players.
Can you get out your sort of football guide to kind of and sort of go, look at that, 3 yellow cards against me. But is there anything you can do? Like, do you learn to deal with it better as you get older and more experienced, or is it just something you have to learn to live with more than anything?
No, I think what you try to get an advantage of that. I know that they are tackling me because I'm trying to get in the right side, and I'm going to try to get them to get booked more often. So in the moment that I got the ball, I'm going to try to go face 1v1, because if he touch me again or he tackle me again, it could be a yellow card. So and most of the managers, they play that way, because you can hear them make go 1v1 if they got or even they make a change because a left back or a full back, they got yellow cards. They put the most skillful player on that side because they know that maybe they can get. So at the end, you have to turn it around and try to get the advantage. I've been folding. They got a yellow. I'm gonna try to get the other yellow for him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you, Sean?
Yeah, it pretty much. Mourinho used to do it quite a lot as well, and he did it Chelsea versus Newcastle, and they said I dived. I don't think I did.
You don't
He
think
actually
you
got
did?
sent off for it as
Yeah.
well. He actually got his second yellow card.
Yeah.
And that's you're just sort of using it, turning what they're trying to do against you.
Yeah, but that's
to your
basically his only option. There's nothing else he can really do unless they start benefiting off the free kicks he's getting with great set pieces and a goal off the end of it. Sometimes them fouling amounts to nothing for us. So that's the only way I would deal with it. Yeah.
There is another way. There is you try to tackle them, but I wasn't good at that. I would get hurt myself, so there was no point to do it.
It's not always the most effective way
No,
to do it.
not for me.
While we're on the subject of discipline, Alfredo Morelos, he got the 6th red card of his Rangers career this weekend for making. But this is the thing. He got it. He got a second yellow for making let's call it an obscene gesture at the Motherwell fans after scoring. Steven Gerrard, you know Steven Gerrard, and you know about how he talked about how he's working with Morelos to try and calm him down but is he a good person to have in that situation, to be talking to Morelos?
Definitely, because he knows exactly. He's got so much experience, and he was one of those players. In certain moments, he could be flipped and get 2 yellows. I remember one Liverpool-Everton, 2 yellows in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. So but he's got that experience, and well, I know that it sounds bad at the moment, 6 games in the last 18 months, 6 red cards, but he had only 1 red card this season and he had 5 last year. So something is working.
So it's better. Yeah.
I think it's an improvement. I mean, he continued playing well, he's scoring goals. And so you can see that behind him is something that is working on well. And it's true that it's not the best way, but no nice. We are not saying that what he did it was nice, but they need to continue working on that because, of course, every time that he's off of the pitch, no one can replace a top scorer.
Did you play with someone, either of you, like that in a?
Wayne was a bit like that early doors. If he got fouled or something didn't go his way from the ref, I used to say to him, 5 seconds. Got him worse.
10.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to calm someone down
No,
more
but
than someone telling them
you
to
don't-
calm down, is
you
it?
don't want to take that out of him.
Yeah.
But you just need to control it and learn how to control it, because if you take it out of him, he could become a different player. But at the same time, on the pitch, if with his fault, there's a tackle and you see him sprint. You just know what's happening. You see him sprinting back. He's not necessarily trying to hurt the guys. He's just trying to win the ball back, taking a bit of anger out, and then there's first yellow, there's second yellow, sent it off. But how old is he?
23, I think.
23.
He's young. He's still young. As you get older, you can handle it better, but he'll be fine. I think doing what he did to the crowd, he can probably stop. Again, you can. But we've all had players like this in your team.
Yeah.
It's a moment of.
And they love it, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
want
but
to show it. And
You say that, but do you think that it worked for Joey? And he's a friend of
No.
mine. So it can go either way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Depends how much he wants to take on board.
But you don't get many players like this. There's not many.
No,
I think the
I
majority
definitely,
are pretty relaxed. You can lose for a minute or so, but you do get one every now and again.
I like,
Which is funny. You need him.
But we talk a lot about, if you take that out of the game, will he lose a lot from it? Will it change him as a player? I mean, fundamentally, you can't change who someone is, can you? You just have to learn to work with it.
To make it control it. It's about control it, yeah.
Because people say, oh, well, you don't want to take it out of his game. I'm not sure you ever could. If a player has that in them, if a person has that in them,
It's just there.
you just need to learn to use it in the right place.
If he's on your team or you're watching it from the bench or the manager's watching it, and something happens, you just going, no. He's probably holding the breath.
Did you spot it early? You see the warning sign.
Go and get him. But that's not even quick.
It's not getting out.
But you have to talk to him. Maybe not shout at him because that's not going to help. But maybe talk to him. Come on, you're a bigger person, maybe, and
make it understand what if you're
team.
out, then you cannot be playing, you
yeah.
cannot score goals, and it's good for you, good for the team. So you're trying to make that.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of Liquid Football on Joe together with Paddy Power. My thanks to Sean Wright-Phillips, to Luis Garcia and to Wes Brown. We're available every Monday and you can download the podcast or watch us on YouTube. And if you like what you see, then you can leave us a nice review. You can also join our Facebook page chat. If you search for Liquid Football, you can get involved there as well. Don't forget to check out our other shows, House of Rugby with James Haskell and TKO with Carl Frampton. Thanks for listening.
You've been watching Liquid Football on Joe, sponsored by Paddy Power.